In a brand new discovery, progressive mayor from Chicago, Brandon Johnson, has disclosed that he has spent $30,000 on makeup. Yes, I am indeed talking about cosmetic facial makeup that women and men use to make themselves look more appealing. Luckily for Brandon Johnson, however, he doesn't have to use his own money. He can use the money from campaign donations brought to him by thousands of local Chicago citizens who wanted to finance his campaign. Now, unfortunately for Brandon Johnson, the Chicago Sun-Times started asking some very important questions about that $30,000. That's when Brandon Johnson sent his campaign advisor, Bill Neidhart, out to clear the air. Bill Neidhart said that Brandon Johnson wasn't personally benefiting from the $30,000. Instead, he was benefiting black-owned businesses, women-owned businesses, because of course that's the best way to spend $30,000 in campaign donations to your campaign, on makeup. The truth is, this is really pathetic and sad. The city of Chicago has had so many African-American homicides and a lackluster mayor who doesn't seem to give a damn about them. But I'm so glad his makeup looks good. That's just my opinion. What do y'all think? Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Vandor the Source. Follow him on TikTok, I believe. Yeah, so we've got this crazy story. Let's go, Brandon Johnson. $30K in campaign funds in 1 year. And then we've got Mayor Tiff in Chicago, south suburbs of Chicago, also spending $1,500 a pop. Thousands and thousands of city funds for her makeup. And I think hers was more of a stylist type deal because, you got to look good for all those little TikTok videos that you do, right? All those little appearances in front of the camera. You gotta look good. And, stylist is part of that, right? But Mayor, let's go, Brandon Johnson. Are you talking about makeup? Makeup? Really? Here's the thing. All this money being spent on ridiculous stuff. Meanwhile, citizens of Chicago are just getting lit up, right? Not only are they having their tax dollars basically taken from them, but how many shootings? Let's go take a quick peek at shootings in Chicago. So year to date, shot and killed 203, shot and wounded 954, total shot 1,157, total homicides 236. I mean, in June, this is June to date, and it is the 10th of June. Shot and killed 17, shot and wounded 87, shot total 104, total homicides 18. I mean, every 3 minutes and 21 seconds, somebody is shot. Every 16 minutes and 26 seconds, a person is murdered in Chicago. Look at this chart over here, the 30-day stupidity trend. I mean, in a world where you've got the mayor spending $30K and he's wanting to not do the shot spotter technology, doesn't want to re-up that after the Democratic National Convention, you've got some real issues with priority as far as where money's being spent. Makeup, hair versus people being murdered in your own community. Yeah, it's kind of the way I see it. Anyway, let's get into the article. So we got Chicago's progressive mayor, Brandon Johnson, spent a jaw-dropping $30K in campaign finance funds, personal grooming since launching his bid for office. Johnson used the money his supporters contributed to his Friends of Johnson campaign fund to pay for makeup and hair appointments. Nearly all the money went to makeup artist and skincare enthusiast Denise Milloy, who operates Makeup Magic from a home in the South Side. According to a campaign finance report, between 2023 and 2024, he made up more than 30 payments to the business, just like Tiff made, I don't know how many payments, $1,500 increments to her stylist. The problem there was, she wasn't taking money out of campaign funds that she had. She was taking it directly from one of the cities that she is supposed to be running. Oof, not good. Allegedly, before he was elected, we're back to Brandon Johnson now. Before he was elected in April 2023, the payments were listed as candidate makeup for TV or makeup retainer. However, since becoming mayor, the makeup payments were only vaguely described as event expenses. All right, it's an expense. It's an expense there. You know what? It's not uncommon for people of this level it's uncommon for a mayor of a size of the village of Dalton, which is 22,000, it would be unusual for that type of mayor to have a makeup budget and, a stylist budget. That one to me is just, that's off the charts, just stuff going sideways in Dalton and Township of Thornton. Here we've got just bad choices, terrible optics. I talk a lot about optics. How does this look to the general residents of Chicago who are dealing with the crime stats that I just read from Hey Jackass, right? So Johnson's campaign spokesperson had previously boasted how a majority of the mayor's campaign contributions came from working class people. All right, that's good. And from labor unions. Okay, yeah. I'm sure they're happy with however he's spending his $30,000 on makeup. Yeah, what'd your contribution go to? A little rouge on this side of the Let's Go Brandon's face. Yeah, just a little bit. Just a scooch. Little bit of eyeshadow. And then a tiny little bit of eyeliner. Proud of myself for even knowing those terms, right? Yeah. The mayor does not spend taxpayer dollars in preparation for the many public appearances and events he attends every day. Instead, he is using his own campaign funds to pay Black and women-owned businesses. Here's the justification. Well, I'm paying Black and women-owned businesses a fair wage and compensation for their work in preparing the mayor and individuals associated with the campaign for public appearances. Can't you just show up? Can't you just show? I mean, really? You're going to go into you're going to get makeup done? You know what I mean? Manly men just don't do that. Real leaders. I mean, if you got to get makeup, if somebody absolutely tells you got to get makeup done, then I guess so. When you get too much on there, up goes the estrogen, down goes the testosterone. It's not a manly thing to do. Makeup is not manly. Don't let anybody kid you. It's just not. Nybard also noted that hair and makeup services are commonplace among high-ranking public officials. How often you getting your hair cut there, Sparky? Like, seriously, every 6-8 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, maybe 2 if you're like a real OCD about your hair. But even then, it's not going to run you that much, right? Just not. Just flat not. But in this story, who knows? However, Johnson appears to spend an arm and a leg more than other prominent local leaders, notably his predecessor, Lori Lightfoot. Yeah, got to be reasonable. This is a news for reasonable people, not just jackasses shooting their mouth off, right? So Lori Lightfoot did not really work on her appearance that much. So her budget for appearance at I don't think she gave a rat's ass how she looked. I mean, literally, she has the nickname of Beetlejuice because she kind of looks like Beetlejuice sometimes. Is that a mean misrepresentation? No, it's mean, but it's not a misrepresentation. It is what it is, right? She's got kind of those bulging eyes, and now she's going after Tiff Henyard, right? She's going after her because she got the okay. Initially, Tiff vetoed the Village of Dalton's wanting to hire Tiff to investigate their mayor. What a mess. What a mess. Meanwhile, we got Let's Go Brandon Johnson over here spending $30K on hair while he's got residents just being shot and murdered and robbed and all kinds of criminal activity goes on. But you know what? This is exactly what the residents of Chicago voted in as their mayor. They voted this in as their mayor. He progressive, soft on crime. So are you really shocked when you get a progressive, soft on crime, yet another one of those types of leaders in your community, and he's off spending $30,000 on God knows what, right? I mean, literally, we don't know if it's clothes or makeup or, maybe he's getting his eyebrows just twinged or whatever, right? Just ridiculous. Among the payments listed in the expenditure report is a $4,000 listing from Johnson's campaign to a Palatine, Illinois beauty salon called Anthony Jones Salon. Anthony doesn't sound like a female name. No, it doesn't. Could be Black. Who knows? Don't really know. Don't really care. Anthony Jones Salon on March 27th for event expenses. All right, it's fair. Anthony Jones, who owns Anthony Jones Salon, he told the paper that he never received the money. We have shenanigans. Is this a shenanigan? Seems like it. He never received the money and he has never worked with Johnson's campaign. Neidhart said the report was a mistake. You mean kind of like when you put a figure on one side of the ledger instead of another? You mean a mistake like that? So you had a ledger system and the report, that was a mistake? One guy gets a felony conviction. Other guy, it's just a mistake. I was just trying to do my job. Pay people that needed to be paid. Mistake. Felony. Interesting how that works, isn't it? Yeah. They provided the name of the business to a vendor who completed the campaign finance report for the disclosure filing. Again, I say, mistake, felony. Yeah. For the disclosure filing made to the Illinois State Board of Elections, and they wrote down the wrong one. Now, didn't Trump say, they wrote down the wrong one? Right? I mean, no. Ooh. Okay. The report also should have listed AJ Styles Barber and Beauty Shop on the West Side as receiving the payment, which was for hair and makeup and involved multiple events, he said. The filing will be fixed to say so, Neidhart said. I'm sure that Trump would have enjoyed a redo on his report. He would have enjoyed that. We're just going to fix that up. We're just going to make that. Yeah. Just fix it. Mistake. Not a big deal. Just going to move on. That whole thing is just absurd, isn't it? Dalton disorder spreads as records show mayor used village funds for personal stylist. This story it never gives up. It's just chaos in the village of Dalton is impacting nearby communities where Mayor Tiff also has a leadership role, and elected officials are speaking out about budgets because they don't have one because all the money's been spent. Aldermen said that they are being inundated with calls from taxpayers with concerns over the money being spent on a makeup artist. I hear it every day. There's no transparency within our township. When I receive these calls, I have to reassure them that we are okay on this end. All this spending that Tiff is doing that isn't authorized, nor is it probably legal, allegedly. We're going to let the FBI figure that out. And if the FBI can't figure that out, literally, Lori Lightfoot, who we were just talking about in the Let's Go Brandon Johnson story, is investigating. Whole thing is so convoluted. Henyard is the center of a wide-ranging federal investigation, a number of lawsuits. An itemized, here we go, here's the good stuff. An itemized payroll sheet for the township sent to NBC Chicago from May of last year lists Brandon Moman as an administrative assistant. But when we reached out to him, he told us he's Henyard's stylist. And I walked you through a live stream last week. We looked at all of Brandon Moman's videos and pictures of Tiff, of Tahoe Tiff, of the dictator of Dalton. We looked at all of her videos and images on the stylist's Instagram page, and it was a lot. There was a lot of content on there. Each one, Tiff was wearing a new outfit. Yeah. What are the optics of that? What do the optics look like? Not good. Yeah. It's just once again a long series of things done incorrectly or possibly illegally, said Chris Gonzalez, a Thornton Township trustee. We reached out to Henyard's administration for comment, but did not hear back. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker said Wednesday he is backing both the federal investigation and the investigation by Lori Lightfoot. Man, we have just got investigations going on left and right here. We got hair being done. We got makeup being done. We got styling going on. And we got all kinds of shenanigans going on. Yeah. And will anything come of these? That's the real question, right? Mayor Brandon Johnson, let's go Brandon Johnson. His deal is it just doesn't look good. I mean, when you've got a city that's in strife like Chicago is, just its overall governance, the violence you've got going on there. And you got, fancy pants mayor, let's go Brandon Johnson kind of parading around with his pointy hairdo and his fancy suits. It doesn't, the optics are not good. Tiff, she is just flagrantly outside the bounds of the law, it appears, allegedly. She hasn't been convicted of anything yet. Right now, it's just a bunch of he said versus she said or she said versus she said, whatever. You know what I mean? It's a bunch of allegations. But when you've got one of the comments that I read last week is that not everybody in the entire Tiffany Henyard deal, not everybody can be wrong all of the time. That was a quote by somebody in this ridiculous piece of the puzzle. Not everybody can be wrong all of the time, meaning there's got to be some truth in there somewhere. And when the FBI comes knocking on the door, yeah, hey, we'd like to see your books. And we know that they're going after Tiff and, you know, a lot of these other players, whether the stylist will be called into play, who knows? But that doesn't look good either. The optics on either one of these are horrific. But, you know, Tiff was like this before she got into office. Let's go, Brandon Johnson. I don't know much about him, but he was brought in as a progressive, a soft on crime, you know, justice reform. Let's really do this. And then, you know, black people are just getting mowed down like there's no tomorrow in Chicago, just killed left and right. You know, the whole thing, it's just like, okay, what are the priorities here? What is the priority for the direction of the city to go? So the only thing I really have to compare, you know, let's go, Brandon, to mayor wise is what we've got going on in Seattle right now. That's Mayor Bruce Harrell. He doesn't look to me like he uses the blush. He doesn't look to me like he uses the base. Yeah, need to cover this, you know, up here. And I got this double chin. No, no. And he's trying to get some real work done in Seattle. Meanwhile, in Chicago, you got, you know, fancy suit prancing around, $4,000 a month. And then over in Dalton and you know, Thornton, township of Thornton, you got Tiff rolling around in the BMW, maybe the Tahoe, who knows, with her private security. Just all of this stuff. It's a matter of the priorities aren't right. Something illegal is probably going on, and the optics are horrific. But if you voted this stuff in, yeah, maybe you want to reconsider next time you go to the ballot. Maybe if you've got a crime issue going on, you don't want to vote in a known soft on crime progressive. Maybe that's not the move. I'm just saying. All right. That's it for me on this one. Thanks so much for being here. I'll catch up with you in the next one. Bye for now.